One of the things you can also add to all of your video projects would be a title. Now, of course, titles can go either at the beginning of your project, explaining what it is and giving it an actual title, or they can go at the end of your project as credits, or you could always put titles or text over your images, whether it's photos or video, to label what's going on. Whether it be a lower third, giving a person a name, which usually sits, right about here, or it can be something in one of the top corners, or just wherever you really feel like putting it on the screen. To add a title, you simply go up to the very top where it says title, down to new title. At this point, you can do a still title, a roll title, and a crawl title. Now, a roll is going to be like in movies where it's going to scroll from the bottom of the screen up to the top. A crawl is like they do on the news where it crawls across the bottom of the screen, or you can do a still. I generally recommend doing a still because even if you want your titles to move, you can animate them by using motion that we did in the last video, which of course, if you forget how to do that, you can absolutely go back and watch that video again, or just ask. So we're going to do default still. So if we open that up, it's going to say how big do you want it. These can actually change a little bit. We're going to say new title, so I'm going to call this one Nova Scotia because that is what the picture is of. And this labeling system has nothing to do with the label itself. It's simply to help you find it later on if you have lots of titles. We're going to say OK. And here it is. Now, what's cool is it's showing you what the image is going to be in the background. That is dependent on where, move this out of the way, where your play bar is. If your play bar is over nothing, it's going to show you nothing. If it's over an image, it's going to show you an image. And this just helps you to kind of guide or guess where that text is going to be. So move this back over. And this works just like any program. You do text, type it right there, Nova Scotia. And that is clearly way too big. So we're going to highlight all of it. And actually you can even, up on the top and on the sides, they have functions where it'll center everything for you. It'll bring it over. So there it is right smack in the center of the screen. You can use specialty fonts down at the bottom. Be careful with some of these because some of them do get really tacky, but some of them can look really nice. I don't know if that one looks nice or not, it might. Or you can go over to the side and you can pick everything and you can custom design it all. So we're just going to say this is fine. Again, you can come down here to change the color if you want to. You can do them reds, whatever, and it'll look like that. It's really just a matter of playing with it. And then we can change the font size, make it smaller. That looks pretty good. I'm going to grab onto the title, move it up in the top. That's not terrible, so that looks fine. We're going to close it. And now my title is showing up over here. Sometimes it'll show up in the main window, like this one right here, Title 2 is just a test one, or it's going to show up wherever you had your folders open, so sometimes you might have to find it, or you might want to make a new bin for it. But there is the title. So now, once we have it in here, it's going to act just like a photograph or even a video. So you just grab onto it, drag it over, and put it in your project. Now what's nice about these titles is that if you set them over black, they're just going to show up on nothing. So that way if you just had plain white text, it would just look like a really nice clean credits. Or if you put them over an image, it's going to automatically show opaque underneath it. If you want to add motion to it, remember, if you double click it, it'll open up the inspector window again so you can alter things. But if you single click it, and now if you go to the effects control, it's going to be right there. Check the name of it to make sure it actually is the title itself and not the picture you're working with. But right here, this is Nova Scotia. That's the name of the title. The picture itself is Nova Scotia in lowercase letters in the word pick after it. So if we wanted to, again, you can make it look like what you wanted to. And set your scale and position right there. And then I'm going to take it to the end. And then I'm going to add a second keyframe, and I'm going to have it get really small, like it's almost going away. And I'm going to have it come over to the side of the screen, over here. In which case, now if we watch it, the words are going to get smaller. So that's just one idea, but there's lots of different things you can do with it. So again, it's just a matter of your own imagination, and you can continue to add as many titles as you want.